going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Comics Noob. My name is Chris, a.k.a. The Comics Noob, and with me, as always, is my boy, AJ Dubs, Alec Johnson Bojangles.
Bojangles, yep.
Johnson
yep.
Bojangles. Come on, bro. Learn your own name.
It's a hyphenage, Johnson Bojangles.
It's a hyphen, yeah.
Okay.
What's
they
going
call me
on?
John Bo.
Yeah, John Bo.
Well.
Okay, Alec John Bo. Guys, what's going on? Welcome to The Comics Noob. If you don't know what this is, just leave. Now, this is a podcast about comics. We read comics, and I'm a noob at comics. Just got back into comics, starting with number ones like DC Rebirth, stuff like that. So recent number ones, and that's what we do. We talk about the comics that we are reading together that we like, and we literally sit on each other's lap and read comics together. That's how this works. Mm-hmm. Anyway, what are we going to do? Oh, this is a spoiler-filled podcast as well. So if you haven't read these, tough titties. I will tell you that we are a part of the Comics Podcast Network. You can get them at comicspodcast.com. It's a very cool site that has a whole bunch of other comic-related podcasts, similar and not unlike this one, but different enough that it's not this one because we're the only ones that do this one. So, having said all that, what are we doing this week, my man? Well, we got something special. I answer my own questions. We're gonna talk about 3 comics, and then we're gonna give you a little movie review. So, what are we reading? We're reading Batman number 10, Batman Rebirth number 10 by our boy Tim King. And then we're going to be reading Captain America numero 6. And then we're going to talk about Big Trouble Little China versus Escape from New York, issue 2. So, pretty fun stuff. With all having words being said in that manner, why don't we talk about Batman? Let's jump right into the bats.
The favorite.
Okay, so this is issue number 10. I Am Suicide number. Well, it's the I Am Suicide arc, not to be confused with Arkham. Batman. He's got his little rogues gallery with him. He's got the bunch of weirdos that he's going to go and use to fight Bane. He's fighting. Okay, he really just wants to get Psycho Pirate from Bane, and that's the whole premise, right? That's the whole point of this particular
to fix Claire.
To fix Claire, aka Gotham Girl. All right. So this is I Am Suicide Part 2. We're not really gonna go into a quick overview. As he gets to the island, Santa Prisca gets to this island where Bane and his cohorts are. Now Bane apparently has moved on past that venom that he used to use to become a badass, and now he's just a badass in real life, IRL, I guess, right? Is that what you got out of this?
Yeah, pretty much.
So Batman goes there.
He's not as badass, but he's a badass,
right?
Yeah.
So Batman goes there to take Psycho Pirate, and he gets captured. Bane puts him in a cell in the Rising Tide. I call it the Rising Tide cell. He escapes, and that's basically all that happens. It's really all that happens here. He fights Bane for a
the
short
cool shit
spell.
is how it was written, though.
Right.
I mean, I like how it was like he basically had one line, and the story was carried by like Catwoman's over what's the term I'm looking for? Her voiceover. It was like Catwoman's like
that was Catwoman?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, dude.
Why do you say it's Catwoman?
Because.
No,
why wouldn't it be Catwoman?
No, it was Bane, dude.
Dude, no, that was Catwoman.
That was Catwoman?
That was Catwoman.
No, because he says, no, my parents, I don't remember them or about them, but I think they had
Selena Kyle. Selena Kyle lived in and out of orphanages. She used to run away on the streets and shit like that.
Oh, why did I think it was Bane the whole time?
I thought it was Bane the whole time up until
237 members. Now they have none. Oh, and she had that 237 counts of murder. Oh,
it wasn't even that. It was something else. I forgot what it was. Something I read.
No, I just resaw. Dude, I'm a fucking, and this is why I'm a comic noob. All right, this is I literally the whole time thought it was a naked Bane writing a letter to fucking. I thought he was all like, so wow. So that changes the entire comic for me. Shit, it really does, dude.
See right here. I slipped behind them and dragged a claw. You see, like shit.
Yeah,
like that.
I was wondering why they said that. Wow,
Besides,
I'm so stupid.
Look at the writing too. Look at the. I don't think.
I know,
like
but
that.
I'm dumb. All right, so let's ignore the fact that I'm a fucking moron, and let's just go with the fact that Batman takes on he flies the Batwing in, jumps out of the Batwing. He takes on a horde of fucking disciples, takes on Bane. Well, I wouldn't say takes on Bane. Bane basically beats the living shit out of him, then throws him down a hole. But, okay, so, like you said, he kept having that one line. And we saw that in the Monster Men thing where he just kept telling Doctor Strange to shut up, to stop talking. Don't say that. Don't open your mouth. And this time he's like, Bane, I've come for Psycho Pirate. In the name of our Lord Bane, on your knee. Wait, whoops. He says, Bane, I've come for Psycho Pirate. Turn him over. I go away. Refuse to turn him over, and I will break your damn back. And he just continues to repeat that. Kind of weird, though, right? Or what did you think about that? Right?
I totally lost you. Your voice broke up.
I just repeated what he said to, turn Psycho Pirate over or I'll break your damn back. That whole thing. Yeah. He just kept repeating that. What is that? What's your take on that?
Well, initially, I think the initial whole play here is the fact that Bane broke Bruce Wayne's back a long time, like in the Nightfall series. So like that was like, I think that's like I don't really not necessarily the play on words, but that's like the whole thing in the writing. You know what I mean? Like the reference, I guess. But yeah. I don't know why he was only constantly saying this one thing. I guess he just had his plan and he was just sticking to it and doing his thing. And I don't know.
That's
really
weird. Well, whatever.
But kind of got his shit broken.
It was interesting. Yeah. Okay. So all right. So you're all right. So you don't really know either. That's great. I just, it was still dope though. Like, especially, it's even more dope now that I know that was Selena Kyle and not fucking Bane. Wow, I'm an idiot. Can we talk about the fact that Bane broke his back again, or hurt his back again?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just a little surprised because like the first time he did it, it was like a new Batman and all this shit. But yeah,
like
it was a huge process.
It was
this time
kind of,
he was just like, "Oh, you broke my back. Fuck you. I don't care."
And then he throws him down in that room. But like, I don't. And then, okay, so can I don't get. Okay, so how about that page spread where he punches holes in the wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
To climb up, and then he cracks his own back again. Puts it like relocates his back, I guess.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta stop reading these on my damn phone. It's too small. Fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so he does that. Then he gets out. He breaks out. So I mean, Batman is, god damn it, Batman is just amazing. Just fucking breaks out of the fucking prison. Something Bane couldn't even do. And then he pops out, and then the puppet dude and Selena Kyle are standing there. Now we break his damn back, he says. Like, that's just, and the next is breaking Bane. Like, I mean, not a whole lot to this issue, I guess.
Not really, no.
It's just it's not that it's short. But a lot happens. Like, as far as it really shows that Batman's just a fucking badass, man. You're not stopping him, no matter whatever he wants to do. I just really like that he was the whole issue. He's stoic. He's like keeps repeating the same thing. Like, he just wants that, and if he doesn't get it, he's gonna hurt him. And then he just fucking, So again, this is just Batman being Batman, like showing you that he can get out of anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty fucking much.
And he's like, your plan worked perfectly. I suppose the only question is, what do we do now? And now we break his damn back. But what was the plan? Oh, to get himself locked up, then he'd escape and let them in the back door.
Yeah.
His fucking... his head's all bashed in. You like the art?
Hell yeah.
Digging the art in this issue?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm digging the art.
Pretty shit again. Yeah, I like that.
You see how on the last page, you see his eyeball? So what does that mean for the mask? That when his eye is all white, that's just part of the mask? Like it's a film, it's a bubble or something?
Yeah, because he sees shit. It's like
that's
like what Iron Man sees on his little screen. It's like that kind of. He sees shit. He has like his detective vision and his night vision and all that bullshit.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy though. I liked it. I liked it. Again, pretty short. I mean, short on dialogue, I guess. We got the whole story of Selena Kyle. So what does that mean, though? Is Selena Kyle going to be like something like more further in the more we get into this particular series? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
I mean, I'd like to see that. You know, I haven't seen Selena Kyle in a comic in a very long time, since the last time I read some Batman stuff, and I don't know. I think it'd be cool, and I like this version of Catwoman. You know, I like this costume.
The costume and shit. I like that.
Yeah, shit. I like it. The skin tight fucking bodysuit. It's fucking dope. Batman looks fucking dope. I like it, man. I'm into it. It's good stuff. All right. So, I mean, look, there's really nothing else to this, right? Is there anything else? Batman perseveres. Some rats sit on his face. He fights a naked Bane, right? So now he's going to go and he's going to bust Bane's fucking ass. That's going to be fun.
Wasn't Doctor Strange naked in the Monster Men arc for a second too?
Yeah, when he was working out.
Yeah, so everybody's fucking naked, dude.
Weird. Tom King, why are you writing a lot of naked men? I mean, I'm fine with it, but at the same time, a lot of naked men. Anyway, all right, cool. So, guys, let us know what you think about this issue of the Bats, because this was fun. This is a cool issue. I liked it. Again, short on, I guess, exposition. Unless you want to count the letter, which is basically the whole point of it, you know. I will say it kind of detracted from, like, because I'd read the letter and I'm like paying attention to like the letter, but then I'm like, wait, what's happening in this panel? Oh yeah, not a whole lot. He's laying on the ground and there's rats on his face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of like montages the story a little bit, you know.
So I don't know. My damn cat's really annoying me right now. He thinks I'm gonna fucking feed him, even though there's food in his bowl. Anyway, let's move on. We're moving on to Captain America #6, still intertwined in the Civil War II storyline. Now, all right, look, Alec and I are kind of getting, not that it's not a good comic, but we're kind of getting like, I don't know. All right, this is the way it is for me. It's intertwined.
I'm just turned off by it because it's like you're throwing elements of a story that I don't.
Yeah, like a lot of elements.
And what I don't, yeah, exactly. And what I don't understand about it is like, you know, I'm not the only person in the world that's just trying to read Captain America here and not Civil War II. So it's like, why is this even a writing tactic to begin with?
Yeah, I
you
don't.
Know what I'm saying? I understand crossovers, but like you know, I feel like there's a limit.
It's just I'm not caught up on the Civil War comic at this point, but where they are right here, like in this particular comic, they're fighting, and then they all have that vision of Morales killing Captain America, but I know that's when they were all fighting when Tony and his group infiltrated, you know, the Inhumans base to get the precog guy. All right, but look, I don't know, man. I mean, let's talk about the story, all right? I'm not going to fucking review. We're just going to talk about the pieces of story. Oh, all right, the elements are kind of cool. I'm not all that fascinated with how the backstory of when he was a kid and how like he met this dude called the Kraken. I don't know who the Kraken is. He looks fucking awesome, right?
Yeah.
I love that fucking helmet he wears and that huge body armor and that big codpiece, but I don't know who he is. If you guys know who he is and you want to let us know, that'd be great. I don't know. I'm going to tell you, I'm not a huge fan of that backstory. And the reason being is that it's fake. I get it that it's telling us that it's like, it's informing us as to how he became but I kind of don't give a shit.
It is very involved for not even being his
I get it. We don't need it every issue. I get it. Kubrick changed his past by implanting these memories in his head, and now he's for Hydra, but he's not for Red Skull's Hydra. He's for a Hydra that will better the Earth. Okay, so great, we get it. I don't need it anymore. I don't need to. I mean, okay, so at least this time he meets another like hero type guy, and I guess this guy's about Hydra, or this guy's part of his training. Like they're like, oh, send in the Kraken, so you know we can show him that you can be a hero and still live by our ideals, whatever. Okay, I get that. So maybe this portion, but I'm kind of getting fucking tired of it. There were some interesting things though. I did like. I liked how when he was talking to Tony, how he's like, "You're not going to switch sides on me." He's like, Tony's telling Steve this. You're not going to switch sides on me. We're finally on the same team about something. He's like, yeah, but if you came up with a machine that does the same thing as Ulysses, wouldn't you be feeling the same way? Like you'd want to use it? He's like, don't turn this around on me. And he gets him all fucked up, and he did it on purpose. Like he got Tony all like questioning shit and everything, and that's obviously part of his plan. So Steve Rogers is really masterminding this whole thing, which is interesting because I've never seen Steve Rogers like this, right? We've never seen him in this manipulative.
Yeah.
He's always been a Boy Scout. Let's just get in, get out, do our thing. I will save people. I love America. That's been his thing. So he's being a real piece of shit. And here's okay. So I'm starting to understand it. It's because he's now a quote unquote Hydra agent, and that's how they survive, sustain, and conquer by subterfuge. Okay, so. That's what they do. They manipulate, they change events, they manipulate events, they move things around to get what they want. I get it that he's doing exactly what he was trained to do. Now that's what this backstory is going to get us. Okay, fine. So maybe talking about it out loud, I have a little more appreciation for it. I don't know. What do you think? Now that I've said all that, do you agree?
I still think it's a little unnecessary either way because it's like, if you wanted this to be Civil War II, you should just wrote it into Civul War II.
But
why why be Steve Rogers Captain America if it's like all this other?
Well,
shit?
why start it? But why start it's?
And the only reason it's an issue is because there's so many elements popping up.
Other
that,
things
like,
happening that you don't know.
You're like,
right,
what the fuck,
Yeah, I will say another element I liked was that how he was like, listen, when we all had that vision of Morales Spider-Man.
Yeah, it took me a second to even figure out what the fuck was I was like, what the fuck is even happening here? Like, I thought I'd just seen him dead. But like,
well, remember the end of the last issue? They all had that. But again, it's intercut into that other storyline, and you're like, well, why are they fighting and what are they doing? And they obviously mention, they mention, oh my god, I'm totally blanking. Ulysses a bunch of times. They've mentioned him a bunch of times, especially the last issue where the doctor Selvig was like, we need to stop him because he can unmask us and all this shit. I don't know. It's just I think it's rough for people who aren't in tune like you. I'm slightly more in tune to the Civil War storyline than you are, and I haven't even been reading it in like the past. If it's a monthly thing, I haven't even been reading it in the past like 3 months, 4 months even. I don't even know. So I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I will say I do like that he was like, listen, when we all had that vision, everyone else saw, he's like they were so enthralled by this, so distracted that they couldn't look away, couldn't see anything but that. I was taught better than that. I saw all I needed to. I saw the world around me. He says Spider-Man may very well take my life on the Capitol steps. I can't deny that it won't happen tomorrow, but when he does, then it will be worth it because it will be for the glory of Hydra. So obviously he's willing to die for what he believes in, and that's Captain America. That's great. But I like that he noticed the surroundings. Like he looked at everything around, so he kind of has a bigger picture of what's happening and what's going on, right? And besides, I don't think it's Morales that actually kills him. I think maybe he was holding him because he tried to save him and he couldn't or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I initially thought too.
Yeah, I didn't think he was killing him, but whatever. So enough about that. I don't know, guys. I don't know if we're gonna keep reading this. If you are into this comic, let us know what you guys think about it. It's kind of hard. I mean, I will mention though that when it goes to that one dude, when they're on the Shield helicarrier and that one hacker dude, and he's just like, what I don't get is why don't they just watch Minority Report? Gotta have some solid tips for handling this kind of thing. His name is Rick, this kid. And I was like, that's exactly watch that fucking movie. You'll get an idea of what's going on, He's like, but seriously, no one's seen Minority Report? Like, it's hilarious. I thought that was my favorite part of the comic, I'm gonna say that fucking the Black Spider-Man fucking, I love that Black Spider-Man suit.
Yeah,
Morales. I need to read.
Yeah.
I need to read some fucking. I want to know how. I want to read his fucking storyline. I don't know. That's fucking cool. I want to know how he became Spider-Man. Like, I don't know any of that shit.
Where Peter Parker's at?
Well, but Peter Parker is still Spider-Man, or he's back to being Spider-Man because he's in the Civil War. Him and Morales are both there when they're talking, when they're fighting, when they're talking all of the Civil War shit. So I don't know. Anyway, that's that. We're going to be done with this, and let us know what you guys think. I don't know. We'll give it another shot and see where it goes next issue, and I don't know. It might be our last issue. I don't know, but we'll see. And on to our last comic, which is going to be Big Trouble in Little China versus Escape from New York. Actually, it's not. Is it versus? I don't know. Just as Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York. It's from Boom Studios. It's number 2 of 6. Oh, man, I forgot it's only 6 issues. Damn it. Anyway, we pick up where the...
That's good, though.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. So, okay, so we pick up where we left off, and we actually get a little... This is number 2. So we're getting right away, we're getting... I mean, obviously, we have to get some stuff right away because...
I mean, it is only 6.
Yeah, so... All right, so we find out. So we get a little more explanation. Again, what happens is they want to go and save this singer. What's her name? Applebutt. What the fuck's her name?
Something Apple Mary.
Yeah, Blind Apple Mary.
Blind Apple Mary. Yeah.
So they want to go save. So he tried to pull in Snake Plissken and pulled. Not only did he find Snake Plissken, he also brought in an alternate version of Snake Plissken, which was obviously Jack Burton. So he pulls out this scroll, and he's like, yeah, I used this scroll. He's like, oh, shit, all right. You know, he's like, listen, that's cool. He's like, you pulled out, you pulled out, you were looking for Snake Plissken, and, you know, what you got the awesome version. You know, like, that was fucking great.
Yeah.
You know, he says, well, I'm not technically a soldier, but if the magic scroll says I'm awesome, who am I to argue? So, yeah, so that's part of the little story there. So that's why, obviously, he gets pulled in there. But what's really cool about this is well, 2 things. One, he explains to them that, you know, you used to be, you know, you were a friend of mine back in my world where there was a lot of, like, you know, weird shit going on. And you and I fought a sorcerer named David Lopan, and he goes, and I killed him, and then, you know, and then later on he's like, well, you know, maybe my mojo has been enhanced now, and so Pliskin ends up using that. He's like, you know what, you're right, you are fucking lucky, and he uses him throughout the comic. Like, he throws him down a hill, he throws him out to in front of all the bad guys, and I just thought that was fucking great, you know. So we know that, like, Jack Burton's special power is being lucky, and I like how they're capitalizing on that, and that I think it's been enhanced by going through the portal, and that's what obviously Pliskin thinks, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, man. And then we got to see a little bit of Snake's, like, past, how that song, like, he remembers that song because it was when he was in the Siege of Leningrad in 1995 or whatever, you know,
which was fucking sick. I thought was really cool.
Yeah, so he obviously he's got a little bit of ties to that song, whereas his counterpart, you know, but he pretty much grew up on that when he said his dad played it for him when he learned how to drive his first big rig, this and that. So it's pretty cool. We also find out that Bobby, the one security guard, they have to go to this other, so they travel across the country and get to this other vault, and it turns out that it's his wife, and he's like, no, yeah, we have to save the singer, but we also have to save my wife, and Snake gets mad and punches him or backhands him, and you know, he's like, all right, hold on now. We'll listen. He's like, back where I came from, your name was Wang Chi, and me and you saved your wife from Lo Pan. He's like, and we're gonna save her in this world too. You know, so it's pretty cool. You know, and I just had to kick my cat for a second.
He's really being that much of a dick right now?
You don't understand. He's going through my feet and he's rubbing up against my computer, putting the hair inside the computer. Fucking annoying, man.
Yeah, I gotta clean my computer.
It's not even time for him to eat, man. I'm not even home usually by this time.
Yeah, he's excited. He just wants some love.
No, he wants me to feed him. That's the deal. Anyway, back to the comic. So yeah, like I said, a lot of gunfire, a lot of explosions. It's really fun. They get into the vault. He finds his wife. They start making out. She grabs his butt, and we see Blind Apple Mary. But then we see someone from Snake's past, this guy Bob Hawk, and apparently I know I saw Escape from New York. I just do not remember it, so I'd have to do some research.
Me too. I've seen it a bunch of times and I still don't remember.
So this guy, but they're saying that this was the guy that's
the guy. Yeah,
he sent the guy. Yeah, the United States Police Force still existed. He was the commissioner, and he's in '97, and he sent Snake to rescue the president. That was the premise of Escape from New York. And so he's like, then Bobby's girlfriend's like, whoa, hold on, he's with us, everyone calm down, and we got to work together, the past is the past, and that. Then they get attacked, and that's when Snake throws Jack Burton out the fucking door, and he's like, oh, excuse me, pardon me, running past, and it distracts the bad guys, and they get out, they get the big rig going, and they all jump into the big rig. At the very end of the comic, we see David Lopan's ghost, who we saw in the first issue, unbeknownst to Jack. I guess he's kind of like floating around Jack, right? Through dimensions, grabs the scroll and brings himself back to life. And then he pulls in to the world. He goes, here, bring my champions. Hello, Snake Plissken's. And it's a fucking cavalcade of Plisskens. We have a metal cyborg Plisken, a huge behemoth Plisken,
Hulk Plisken,
Hulk Plisken. We've got it looks like a gunslinger from the Old West Plisken. A bald Plisken from maybe like a future time, a female fucking Plisken, another bearded one. Like, dude, it just looks really awesome. And at the end, it says to be Snake Tenued. So this is just
it's like ridiculous in the best ways.
Yeah, dude, it's just really,
which is basically fun. What these two movies were.
God, I know. And now I've seen Big Trouble in Little China probably about 6 or 7 times throughout my life. I need to go watch the Escape from New York ones. I like Big Trouble better, but I don't know. We should definitely watch those though again.
We should.
Anyway, really fucking cool. Really fucking cool. Enjoying it. Sucks that it's gonna only be 6, but hey, we're not there yet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see the back page though at the end? This Klaus and the Witch of Winter. Did you see that? It's another one from Boom Studios. It's from Grant Morrison and Dan Mora. It looks fucking awesome.
Grant Morrison. That means it's going to be awesome, but incredibly confusing and hard to follow.
Yeah, most likely.
That's how Grant
it's
Morrison
an all-new 48-page one-shot in December 2016. Guess what?
I mean, I'm going to buy it.
Guess what, motherfucker?
If I had seen this in the store and I saw Grant Morrison's name on it, I would have just bought it anyway.
So look for that, guys. We're definitely going to do that. So all right. So that's Big Trouble, Little China, Escape from New York. Yeah. Let's move on. Next, we're just going to go ahead and talk about Doctor Strange. Now, Alec and I just came back actually from seeing Doctor Strange this morning, and I'm going to go ahead and say that it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was such an awesome movie. So what we're going to do is we're going to briefly talk about we'll do a spoiler free if we can, and then we'll just jump in, and then we'll jump into some spoiler stuff. Okay? So with that, let's just talk about that. So okay, no spoilers. What's this movie about? Well, okay, it's about a dude who was an awesome, arrogant piece of crap person, doctor, but he's a really awesome doctor.
Surgeon. Yeah, he's like a fucking world-class brain surgeon.
Well, he works on backs and shit. Like, yeah, he's a neurosurgeon, working on spines and brains and shit. And and then he's kind of an arrogant piece of shit. He's likable, but he's still an asshole. Like he's like an asshole, and he can't keep relationships and things like that. And he's that type of thing. Gets into an accident, and he breaks his hands pretty badly, and decides to since scientific medicine isn't helping him, he hears about this dude that's walking after having his like spine like badly injured and not being able to walk again, right? Yes. And he's up and walking around. So he goes and he finds that dude, and that dude tells him you should probably go ahead and this is how I got my mojo back. And so he goes to find that, and it turns out it's that bald woman in the trailer that trains. Obviously he goes and he gets trained to be to learn how to use the forces of the universe and nature and all that bullshit. To his whole thing is to get his hands back. That's all he really wanted to do. But of course, something bigger ends up happening, and he gets involved in something bigger. And it's hard for no spoilers, right? But
yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome though.
No spoilers means there's going to be a little bit of spoilers. It's just not specifics. So he goes ahead and, like I said, he gets involved. You meet a bunch of characters, and you get a really good glimpse into the world. There's multiple references in the movie of what's already not what's already happened per se, like in the Netflix Marvel series, but you know that this is, you see the Avengers Tower in one shot of the city because he's a doctor in New York, so it takes place in New York, and then you see, they make reference to the Avengers at one point, and so we know that this is all part of the same universe. They make it known, but now we're doing this world of magic, which is cool, and the way they approached magic was I enjoyed it. I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed it because it was more about harnessing the power within, which is a huge.
It was very spiritual rather than just finding a scroll and reading it or some shit. It was very like
and doing spells.
It was very like everything started from within, and then that shit just expanded.
Yeah,
I really like that.
I really and as you guys get to know like me and Alec, you'll know that I for one especially I put a lot of stock in the universe. Like that's what I put a lot of stock in myself inside, and then my connection to the universe, and that's why I really, really enjoyed this movie. And I didn't think it was cheesy. I thought some of the mind bending effects were really mind bending, but you know what? They worked. They weren't too crazy. They worked. Some of the magic stuff was not over the top. I love that.
Man, it was all awesome. Nobody better bitch about no fucking CGI.
I'm serious. You know what? And I got to tell you, it looked really good. Like there was some CGI. Okay, no. Green screen / CGI moments.
Fucking 90% of this movie was fucking
CGI.
Was CGI.
And it was fucking great, though. Like I said, there were some shots. Some of the shots of people like running up on the walls and stuff you could tell were CGI'd.
But obviously the world was tumbling sideways and shit. You know what I mean? Like it's supposed to. It obviously
you didn't really. So half of it was practical, half of it wasn't. So it's fine. It's fine. You don't really you forgive it.
What do you expect? What would it look like if buildings actually began looking turning like gears and shit? Like that's the fucking
I will say this though, all those buildings turning and everything changing a lot. They definitely they weaponized it. They fucking weaponized that ability to do that, and not everybody has that ability, by the way. And it's only a specific type of power, which we'll get into in the spoilers. That's what they actually weaponized that. Like that's how they tried to defeat each other, was spinning the fucking room around and like
crushing each other and shit.
Yeah, like really fucking great. So I will say though that maybe used a little too much. That device was kind of used a lot. You got to admit, it was like if the movie's broken into 3 acts, every act had a spinny environment situation.
Yeah, but what else is it going to be?
I would have preferred to be a little more magic fighting. To be honest with you, I think there was a little, and I bet you that's a criticism that you're going to see somewhere.
Yeah, but see, that wasn't like these guys. That's more how they were fighting.
I get it. No, and plus Doctor Strange isn't...
Doctor Strange, he wasn't as experienced yet.
Right, and he only has a limited... At the time of the movie, he's got a limited set of powers.
Yeah, he can't... in layman's terms, he really can't do shit. In comparison to what his true potential is going to be. Like, he really can't do shit.
Yeah. So, either way, let's wrap up spoiler-free, because I really want to talk about spoilers. It was fun. It was a good movie. It wasn't too much.
And if you listen to this before you go see it, there is 2 credit scenes. So don't let me
thank you. There are 2 credits. There's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene. So stick around because they're actually pretty cool, and definitely actually move the story forward. So like for 2 different ways. Like these credit scenes actually do something. They're not just like, oh yeah, well hey, oh that guy's a guy maybe, like all those other ones. Anyway, definitely cool. So, yeah. So, that'll be the end of the spoiler-free. Let's jump into spoilers. Spoiler time, guys. All right.
Spoilers?
All right, so we're in spoilers. Here's the thing. I really enjoyed how when he gets to... We don't need to talk about the fact that what happened with the doctor. It's a car accident. Gets into a fucking car accident. His hands get brutally fucking massacred. They try to put him back together, and he's all pissed off because he's like, I would have done it better. I wouldn't be looking. They put pins in his hands and all this shit, and he couldn't, like months and months of rehab and surgeries, and he tried to go through so many medical science to fix himself. He was spending all his money, money he didn't have, trying to get loans to do procedures, experimental procedures. Literally nothing worked for him. Finds finds out, like I mentioned earlier, that there's this dude that's walking around after like having like a something seriously in his, like one of his vertebrae completely destroyed or something like that. And he actually, Doctor Strange actually said that he was not fixable and turned him away. He finds that out later when he meets the guy. He's like, "You actually turned me away, Doctor Strange." And he says, "Yeah, you were unfixable. How are you walking around right now?" And he's like, "I learned to look within instead." And so he tells him to go to Nepal, and he goes to Nepal, meets the Supreme Sorcerer, Tilda Swinton, who I loved in this movie. Absolutely loved. I thought she was fantastic.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, full disclosure, I didn't get a chance to get into Doctor Strange comics. I'd like to afterwards because I think he's kind of a cool character.
Yeah.
I don't really know any of these characters. So this is me and Alec coming into this thing, being the movie, being our real first entrance into it. So if you guys are Doctor Strange fans, like I know we got a couple listeners that wanted us to read Doctor Strange. I'm talking about you, Wargear. You're one of them. And yeah, so if you guys are, know a lot about this stuff, you could fill us in or give us comparisons. That'd be awesome. I'd like to know more like that. But anyway, like the comics compared to what they portray in the movie. I do know some stuff, which we'll get into in a minute. So she was cool. I really enjoyed the fact that she's like, you can call them spells, or if you want, because it's like we're in a technological society, so you can call them programs, call them whatever you want. It's just a way of accessing the power of the universe, And he very quickly picks it up. But what's really cool is that they didn't beat you over the head with the fact that he's really smart. He has a photographic memory. He says how he got his MD and his PhD at the same time, he says. They're like, how did you remember all this stuff? And he's like, well, I have a photographic memory. I'm the shit. I love that they didn't beat you over the head with it. They didn't beat you over the head with his arrogance. You knew it, done, boom. It plays a part throughout the movie, more or less. But it's not, I don't know, Al, did you feel like they beat you over the head with anything?
No.
Not even
honestly,
with like
man,
so the big bad guy. The big bad guy, there's two bad guys. The minor bad guy, which is Priscillius, I believe his name is. He was a former master trained by the Supreme Tilda Swinton, and he goes rogue because there's a dark force in the universe that has been.
It's the dark dimension. If you draw power from it, you can live forever.
Right, in which we find out that that's what Tilda Swinton's character has been doing. That's how she's immortal. She's been pulling the energy from that to stay alive, and that plays a little role later on, which we'll get into. But I can't. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think of the dude's name.
What, the big bad dude?
The big bad dude, Dumama,
Dumarum or some shit like that. It was some shit like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Dumarma or something. His name is.
But he just wanted to fucking Shao Kahn that shit and just like merge all the realms, all the dimensions.
Caecilius is Mads Mikkelsen is Caecilius. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I can't think of the huge fucking monster's name. Baron Mordo is in there. Mordo is his friend now, but it turns Baron Mordo is one of his enemies, right? But it shows his creation of being an enemy, I guess, so this is like the origin story for the hero and the villain. Anyway, I'm so sorry, guys. I can't remember this. I'm trying to look it up. Why don't you look it up?
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah. Anyway, so those are the two main villains. So this Caecilius is trying to bring that dude to Earth. This being eats planets and brings them under his power, basically. What? So that's what Caecilius is trying to do. He's trying to get that power. He's a disciple of this dude, and he's just like that's his whole point. And in the meantime, Doctor Strange is learning all this stuff. And again, it's cool how he picks everything up right away. I mean, obviously he trains. He trains in martial arts or like Tai Chi. He trains. He learns how to do all this stuff to get his powers going. Supreme Sorceress Tilda Swinton brings him to the top of Mount Everest or near the peak.
Dormammu.
That's it.
Dormammu.
Thank you. brings Dormammu. Oh, and the second you say it, I look at my screen and I see it on the screen. Dormammu is the thing that eats planets or whatever. Anyway, she leaves him on top of Everest to find his way home. So what did you think about the way they teleport? So the way they teleport is they put this 2-fingered ring on called a slip. Oh crap! What was it called again? Slip ring. What's it called again?
Fuck, I don't remember.
Damn it! Damn research.
I know.
They call it like a slip ring, and it's a 2-fingered ring that they use to teleport themselves. So like they hold out their hand and they swing around. They swing their hands around and stuff. And so sling ring. That's it. It's called sling ring. Not
sling
slip
ring. Okay,
sling ring.
Yeah.
And that's how they make those portals you see, those fire-looking little portals, and that's how they get around. But without a sling ring, you can't get around. I mean, you could use portals, but you can't make them yourself. So that's one of the first things he learns to do. So she leaves him up there, and sends him, and he figures out a way to get home. Like he's like, and the whole time he thinks that it's all in his hands. And she shows him at one point there's another master there that only has one hand, and he makes this really cool like magical emblem thingy in the air. And he's like, oh shit, I guess I don't really need my hands. Anyway, he learns pretty quickly. That's his power. Okay, he's got the power of his mind because he's just a really smart, out of the box thinker. When he's I like how they contain this. I like how they gave you the world and they contained it. Okay, and what I mean by that is there's the 3 major cities, these 3 major strongholds that are protecting the world from Dormammu. One is in Hong Kong, one is in London, and one is in New York. And there are keepers of those. There's someone that's there to protect it. You know what I mean? And I like that they kept it like, so the whole like last act of the movie takes place on like one day.
Yeah.
It isn't like, oh, this happened, and then a week later this happened, then a couple days later. No, all the like the blood on his face, all his injuries, it's there for like the whole second half of the movie. And I really, really, really enjoyed the fact that they did that. I thought the pacing was cool. I thought they gave you enough backstory. They gave you enough origin story of him getting his powers. And they make it so he's not that powerful. One thing they did do is he reads these books really, really fast, right? He learns all this magic. He learns that Caecilius steals these 2 pages from this one book, this one old book that will allow him to basically bring Dormammu into the world. And he figures out how to use this eye. I don't even know what it's called. The eye of whatever. Eye of Barbados. What's it called?
Eye of Barbados?
Agamotto. It's called the Eye of Agamotto. And it's a very powerful relic. He puts it on and he teaches himself, and they make note of that. And he's like, why? They're like, so why are you teaching yourself this stuff, you know? And he's like, because I want to learn, and, you know, so I'm going to teach myself. So he goes out on his own and he learns this stuff by reading all these books and everything. And so he uses the Eye of Agamotto and he learns how to manipulate time. So he's like, there's a really cool scene where he's taking an apple that he's eating and he makes it go back. He makes it go to a rotten core and then back to being a fresh apple and then back to a core. And then they come in and they're like, what are you doing? Don't mess with time, you asshat. What are you fucking doing? And then from then on out, from that scene, which is like midway in the, right? Oh, maybe, yeah, I would say about midway, right? Maybe a little after midway. Then the whole rest of the movie is like that same day. So he ends up having to go fight Caecilius. So he actually fights Caecilius, and Caecilius and his 2 guys, his 2 zealots, they have these awesome blades that they conjure. It's like a crystal kind of almost like invisible blade. And that's what they use to fucking fight, which is dope. Because Doctor Strange is still new at this, he has this lasso. They have this like weird tripwire lasso thing that they use, which is cool. So fucking cool, man. And they have these shields, and they have these little like hand shields that they can make. Like the first scene of the movie is Tilda Swinton beating down these guys while using the environment to crush them and fight, and like again using it as a weapon. And she fights these guys. And we see how badass she is, right? And it like I thought that was the perfect scene to start this type of movie, don't you?
Hell yeah, dude!
After that scene, Alec and I look at each other. We're like, okay,
yeah, this shit's gonna be good.
This is gonna be good, you know, dude. So Doctor Strange fights them, and he's learning how to use this magic stuff, and Ultimately, he ends up, fighting Caecilius again, and then so London falls, New York falls, and now they go to Hong Kong and they try to save the Hong Kong chapter of these sorcerers and stuff, and keep that, because that's the last bastion. It's going to be the last thing. If it falls, then this Dormammu's coming in to take over the planet. Basically, he goes fight. He fights there, and just some really awesome stuff going on, like the how he uses time. So he remembers that he has the ability to control time because he taught himself how to do it. He has the eye. He still has the eye of Agamotto on, and he realizes, oh shit, I can fix this. So he starts to turn back time, and they're fighting each other while time is going backwards and like repairing this, the city of Hong Kong. And it's just like, it's so fucking mind blowing. I've never seen anything like it before, man. It was just fucking amazing. And he ends up actually not fighting, but he confronts Dormammu. And I won't go into exactly what happens. I'll let you guys see the movie, but he ends up besting Dormammu, and it turns out, he made a deal with Dormammu, and he's like, listen, they're gonna go away. They're gonna leave us alone. We're okay. He turned back time. So what happens is Mordo, though, he gets upset because he's like, he says, you messed with time, like you messed with the natural order of things.
Natural order, yeah.
And he's a big proponent of the natural order of things. Like, that's the thing. They're not supposed to mess with stuff. You're not supposed to mess with the natural order of things. You're supposed to protect it. And so he's learning this whole thing. And Mordo ends up being like, you know what? I don't like this. I'm out. Peace. And you're like, okay, again, I didn't know that Mordo, who becomes his nemesis, Baron Mordo, in the comic. I didn't know that. I didn't know that this was... I did hear previously, like, before the movie came out, before it was even released, that one of the guys turns bad or something like that. So Mordo's probably... Mordo's going to turn bad and whatever. And I'm not going to go into, like, any other things about that. But, so yeah, so he's going to become the Baron Mordo of the comic. That's basically the storyline. That's basically what happens. I mean, the effects were fucking great. We talked about it in non-spoilers that, some of the effects, you could tell they were effects, but most of it, especially the manipulation of the environment, the magic was fucking dope. Again, it wasn't over the top, and it was like everyone has their specific magics, kind of. Like Mordo has his staff, this like quarter staff that he uses. Not even a quarter staff. It's like a short staff. This like stick that like that they use to infuse their magic into when they can't contain it and they need something to help them. So they all have that. Doctor Strange picks up his cloak, which is the Cloak of Levitation, I believe it's called, and it chooses him, which is cool because it has a mind of its own. And I don't know about you, dude, but did you hear about that before you saw the movie? That the cloak had a mind of its own?
Yeah.
What did you think about that? Would you like, okay.
No. It's not a problem because they work together. It's like another power of his, I guess, and I like it because it's a whole like it has to choose you thing. I think that's cool. Right? They said
it was very picky, and it actually has a cool role. Like it helps him a lot. Like at one point he's fighting Caecilius and he sees an axe on one wall and he goes to get it, but instead the cloak is pulling him, and there's this funny little comical thing where he's trying to run, but it won't let him, and he's just running in place because it's pulling him back the other way, and pulls him to another wall where he takes this set of, for all intents and purposes, it's like a straitjacket, a magical straitjacket, which he grabs and throws it on Caecilius, and it just fucking binds him up. I mean,
that shit was so
this
funny.
Stuff was just so... I mean, not often are you sitting in a movie going, oh man, that's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? And this movie was like that. So I just really enjoyed it. So he got his cloak. He's using the eye of Agamotto. Like, again, I don't know much, but I liked it. Benedict Cumberbatch, I think he did an amazing job.
Fuck yeah.
I heard his accent come through a couple times, but that's okay. I think everything was great. The makeup on Caecilius and his cohorts, that crackled look of the like their skin cracking away and revealing that dark demon
the
underneath.
Eyes and shit, yeah.
Because you realize what that was when at the end when they get taken into the other dimension, right? that the skin like is flaking off of them, and they become those dark black purple beings.
Yeah.
And then like that's what was like, because they became disciples of Dormammu. That's what's happening. Like it was like kind of coming out, and it was just fucking so cool. Tilda Swinton was awesome. Just I loved all the fight. Like again, they didn't beat you over the head with it. It wasn't like magic here and magic there and this and magic and the. No, they didn't do that. Hell, they used the buildings to fight more than they did their magics like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. They absolutely used magics to fight each other, especially when they used those blades. Like, that was just crazy. Cumberbatch, he was, pretty good. I mean, Doctor Strange is a pretty cool... Like, he can fight. He knows how to physically fight, which is pretty cool. He's not great at it. He gets his ass beat a bunch of times. But I liked it. I just liked it. I was wondering how they were going to make it so, like, I'm like, okay, so by the end of this movie, is he going to end up being like a fucking total master? Or is he going to be like, you know what I mean?
Well, no, because this is the Marvel Universe. He's going to be in probably every movie after this, so he's just going to be better and better and better, you know?
Yeah,
he's
but I'm
going to have a big role in the next Thor movie, so, that's big.
Right. Well, this particular movie, though, like, I didn't know whether they were going to make him like a badass or not. And he ends up being a badass.
Yeah, he is, but
but not like it's not like he's like walking away from explosions behind him, badass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he was basically he was good, and he knows. But then again, it's a testament to who Dr. Stephen Strange is, in that he's really good, like he's really smart, and he knows. He taught himself all this stuff. He takes pride in that. I thought it was an amazing introduction to this character. So I think that'll do it. I think that's enough, right? I think that's enough talking about it. It was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. I want to see it again. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I missed. Guys, if you saw it and there's Easter eggs and stuff that obviously we didn't talk about, please let us know. Let us know how you like the movie. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
If you're someone who takes LSD, I recommend seeing it on it.
Oh, my God. No, dude, I'd be like, I feel like to be like, oh, my God, I'm going to die. Like, thinking you're actually there doing it, you know?
Awesome, dude. That'd probably be awesome.
Well, maybe. And so they end up in the hospital and they see Doctor Strange standing over them. Oh wait! Before we go, can we just talk about the whole astral projection thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God! He learns how to astral project, and like that actually plays a big role. There's a fight in the astral plane. Fucking blew my mind. Blew my mind.
While she's saving his life.
He's
kicking.
While Rachel McAdams as Nurse Palmer, fucking trying to save his fucking life. Which, by the way, she did a great job too. I liked her too. She's another version of the night nurse, though. That's the difference, I think. So the night nurse from. Oh wait, are you watching Daredevil and Luke Cage?
Yeah.
So Claire. Claire. Her name is Claire. Rosario Dawson.
I know who you're talking about.
That's the night nurse, and I thought this was supposed to be a version of the night nurse too.
No.
But this girl's Christine Palmer. No, I did some research prior to watching the movie, so and I thought. But anyway, she's a character though. This girl Palmer, Christine Palmer, is actually. I think her name's Palmer, right? Am I wrong? Pretty sure it's Palmer.
Yeah.
Christine Palmer, yeah. So she's a character. She did great. I enjoyed it. She wasn't in it too long, but she was great. Yeah. So there's that whole fight where she's trying to basically all right. So he gets stabbed by that magic blade, teleports himself to the hospital while she's draining his chest of blood. He's having a fight with one of those zealot dudes in the astral plane. So fucking cool. I loved it. I loved it. I love this movie. This was a really fun, contained, not all over the place movie. It was succinct to me. I enjoyed it. I don't know. I liked it a lot. I'm curious to see what you guys think. So why don't you guys let us know that? Thank you again for listening to us and listening to us ramble on about this stuff. If you guys want to get in contact with us, you can email us at comicsnoob@gmail.com, or you can get to us on all the social medias at TheComicsNoob. Please do that. If you're listening on iTunes, please give us a rating. That would help out so much. Help us get us out there. Please tell your friends if you like this show. Tell your friends if you have any things that you'd like us to read or pick up. Let us know. Give us some suggestions. We didn't do a you should read because this episode's already kind of long. But I'm gonna go ahead and I want to try and read some more Doctor Strange. Whoops! Keep dropping your stuff.
My damn marbles, bro.
You're losing your damn marbles, son. But go check that out. Go check out the comicspodcast.com. We are part of the Comics Podcast Network. Go check that out. And I think that's going to do it for us. Go check out Cult of Personality on Instagram. That's Alec. And I think that's going to do it. Guys, thank you again so much. We appreciate all the support that you give us. And let us know what's going on. Yeah, give us a shout out. And that's it. And we're going to see you guys next week with more comics. All right? So, from all of us here at the Comics Noob podcast, I bid you a farewell.